हाय एवरीवन, मेरा नाम है निकिता और इस वीडियो में हम बात करेंगे बजट 2022 के बारे में. Expectations, we had a lot of expectations from this budget 2022. In this video I'm going to be specifically discussing the income tax provisions of the budget. इस वीडियो को मैंने 3 पार्ट्स में डिवाइड किया हुआ है. पहले पार्ट में हम डिस्कस करेंगे अबाउट द टैक्सेशन ऑन वर्चुअल डिजिटल एसेट्स. सेकेंड पार्ट में हम अदर इंपॉर्टेंट अनाउंसमेंट्स के बारे में डिस्कस करेंगे. There are 7 other important announcements that I want to tell you about. And last part में हम डिस्कस करेंगे कि as an individual taxpayer में से आपको क्या क्या applicable है and what are the benefits and what were the announcements for you specifically in this budget. So stay tuned till the end of the video. If you still haven't subscribed to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. It would mean a lot to me. So what are we waiting for? Let's begin. Point number 1. पहले एक अनाउंसमेंट हुआ रिलेटेड टू डिजिटल करेंसी. सो इट वाज अनाउंस्ड दैट आरबीआई विल बी लॉन्चिंग इट्स ओन डिजिटल रूपी इन FY 22-23. उसको इनेबल करने के लिए द रिजर्व बैंक ऑफ इंडिया एक्ट 1934 में एक डेफिनेशन ऐड किया है ऑफ बैंक नोट. आइए हम वो डेफिनेशन देखते हैं. द डेफिनेशन सेज दैट बैंक नोट मीन्स अ बैंक नोट इशूड बाय द बैंक whether in physical or digital form. So they have enabled such currency in digital form. So RBI will be issuing digital rupee. अब उसी के चलते income tax में they have introduced a new scheme of taxation for all the virtual digital assets. अब इसका मतलब क्या है? सबसे पहले what are virtual digital assets? Let's look at that. A virtual digital asset is proposed to mean any information or code, number or token generated through cryptographic means. It does not include currency. मतलब currency is not a virtual digital asset. It will be generated through cryptographic means or otherwise by whatever name called, providing a digital representation of value which is exchanged with or without consideration. It provides some kind of value, a digital representation of the value which is exchanged with or without consideration. Meaning आपने इसको बेचा है और उसके अगेंस्ट पैसे लिए हैं, कोई कंसिडरेशन लिया है, या फिर आपने कंसिडरेशन नहीं भी लिया है बट आपने सिर्फ उसको बेचा है. And also includes any other digital asset which is specified by notification. अब इस सब का मतलब क्या हुआ? They are trying to include all kind of cryptocurrency here. If something is not included, it will be included by way of a notification by the central government. NFTs को specifically definition में add कर दिया है. So they are trying to tax virtual digital assets. So they are trying to tax NFTs and cryptocurrency. Okay. Now, question is how will they be taxed? So they've introduced section 115 BBG. Now as per this section, they're going to tax income from such transactions at a flat rate of 30%. They're going to tax income from such transactions. What does that mean? So let's say I bought some kind of cryptocurrency for rupees 30,000 and today I'm selling it for 1 lakh. Okay. So the differential 1 lakh minus 30,000, 70,000 becomes my income which will be taxed directly. But now there will be different scenarios and different cases that we'll come across practically when this becomes applicable. This will become applicable from 1st of April 2023. So we will see a lot of practical scenarios there. But right now what it means all the income that you're earning from sale of such virtual digital assets, it will be taxed at the rate of 30%. Okay. What will be allowed as an expense? Like I just said, आपको सिर्फ cost of acquisition का benefit मिलेगा. Meaning मैंने वो 30,000 के लिए purchase किया और 1 lakh पे sell किया. So out of the 1 lakh, 30,000 will be removed and I will be required to pay tax only on the income of 70,000. But no other expense will be allowed as a deduction. Now what if I have a loss from sale? That loss will not be set off against any other income. तो अगर let's say आपने purchase किया था 1 lakh में और उसको बेचना पड़ा 50,000 में, तो आपका जो loss हुआ in this transaction, इसका आपको income tax में कोई भी benefit नहीं मिलेगा. Right? इसके ऊपर जो बायर होगा ऐसे ट्रांजैक्शंस का, उसको 1% पे टैक्स डिडक्ट करना पड़ेगा एट सोर्स. राइट? कैन यू कैरी फॉरवर्ड द लॉस दैट यू आर इनकरिंग ऑन सच ट्रांजैक्शंस? आपको 50,000 का जो लॉस हुआ, क्या आप उसको आगे के साल में कैरी फॉरवर्ड कर सकते हो? द आंसर इज नो. यू कैन नॉट कैरी फॉरवर्ड एनी लॉसेज, यू कैन नॉट सेट ऑफ एनी लॉसेज. If there is income, it will be taxed at a flat rate of 30%. Of course, it goes without saying, इस पे respective surcharge and cess जैसे लगता है वैसे लगेगा. Right? On any other capital gain transaction in case of property. उन्होंने property के definition में virtual digital assets को add कर दिया है. Okay? So this was a very important change that was coming in from the budget. Let's discuss the other announcements. The first announcement is in relation to updated return. Now, currently, a very small period is given to file belated or revised income tax return. Let's say you made a mistake and you wanted to correct that. In case of individuals, we get a period of 5 months approximately. In case of companies, you might get 2 months, and in some cases, you might just get 1 month. That is why we tell a lot of assessees to file their returns within the due dates so that there are no issues, because the period of filing belated returns is very less. But now they've come up with the provision of updated return. So what they're trying to say is, suppose you fail to file your return, or you filed your return but you later on realize that there is an additional income that you've forgotten to disclose. Mind you, they're not saying that you have any additional refund that you can claim. No. If there's any additional income that you failed to disclose, in such cases, you can file an updated return within 24 months of the end of the assessment year. What does that mean? So say for financial year 2021, the assessment year is 21-22, which gets over on 31st of March 2022. You will be given a period of 2 years from such date, that is 24 months, to file the updated return. But mind you, can you file an updated return to claim additional refund? No. Can you file an updated return to claim losses? No. You can file an updated return only if there is additional income that you failed to disclose, or you failed to file your income tax return entirely in the time period that was given to you. So the updated return provisions are huge. I mean, there are a lot of provisions in there, but very important points that are coming out of it are, in case of an updated return, you have to pay income tax, additional income tax at 25% of your tax liability if you file within 12 months of the time given to you. And if you fail to file within those 12 months and you file it in the next 12 months, then you have to pay 50% additional income tax on your tax liability. So basically, the provision of updated returns is for people who want to disclose additional income or who have failed to file their returns within the time limits given to you. I feel these provisions are really penal and heavy, so please ensure that you're filing your returns well within time. Exemption of amount received for medical treatment for COVID for yourself and your family members. So if your employer is paying or repaying some expenditure that you have incurred for medical treatment of yourself or your family members, in that case, such amount will not be added as perquisite and will not be included in your taxable income. In fact, if you have received such money from any person for medical treatment for illnesses related to COVID, such money will not be treated as your income. If you've lost any family member during COVID and you've received a sum of say up to rupees 10 lakhs, either from the employer of such person or any other person, in that case, such sum will also not be treated as your income. And this is applicable from AY 2021 onwards. So if it's applicable to you, you can claim it. Section 80 CCD, contribution to National Pension Scheme. So earlier, this 14% deduction was given only to contribution made by central government, and now the state government has also been added. Of course, in case of other employers, only 10% is allowed even today. But in case of central government and state government employers, a deduction of 14% is allowed. Point number 4. Now there's a section called 115 BAB, under which a new manufacturing or production unit can pay tax at the rate of 15%. So now the last date of this scheme has been extended from 31st of March 2023 to 31st of March 2024. So if you're setting up a new manufacturing or production unit, you can go ahead and claim this extension of tax slab at the rate of 15%. Point number 5 is also an extension in the date of incorporation of eligible startups. You can get your startup registered and it can be eligible if it's commenced up to 31st of March 2023. So they've given one more year for you to claim the benefit at a Section 80 IAC, wherein you can claim 100% deduction in profits for a period of 3 consecutive years in a span of 10 years. If you're going to get a startup registered, you now have the period up to 31st of March 2023. Point number 6, rationalization of provisions in relation to TDS on sale of immovable property. Now, most of you might know this, that when you're selling an immovable property, the buyer of the property has to deduct tax at the rate of 1% of the sale consideration. Now, they have gone ahead and said that if the sale consideration is less than the stamp duty value, then that 1% has to be actually deducted on the stamp duty value and not the sale consideration. Now, of course, all of this is applicable only if your sale consideration exceeds 50 lakh rupees. So if your sale consideration exceeds 50 lakhs, when you're buying a house or you're buying a property, be careful that 1% might not be applicable just on the sale consideration, but it might be applicable on the stamp duty value if your stamp duty value is more than the sale consideration. So this new provision is being added. The last point that I want to discuss with all of you is the surcharge on the long-term capital gains on equity shares. They have now capped the surcharge at 15%. So earlier, if your capital gains on sale of listed equity shares was between 2 to 5 crores, you had to pay a surcharge of 25%. And if it was more than 5 crores, you had to pay a surcharge of 37%. Now this has been removed and it has been entirely capped to 15%. So no matter what your capital gains are, the maximum surcharge that you will be paying on LTCG on listed equity shares will be 15%. These are all the budget announcements that I wanted to discuss with all of you. This is coming right from Budget 2022. Of course, all of us had a lot of expectations, a little tax benefit for salaried employees, a little tax benefits for people who are paying large amount of taxes. That has not happened, and I'm sure that's a little disheartening for all of us. But on the brighter side, most of the provisions are same as last time. So at least we won't have to pay a lot of extra taxes unless we are dealing in cryptocurrency and are planning to sell NFTs or crypto in the next financial year. If you have any questions for me, please ask me in the comment section down below. I have tried to cover all the generally important points for all of you. But if there's something specific that you want me to cover, please let me know in the comment section down below and I'll be happy to do so. My name is Nikita and I will see you guys in the next one.